Hello, everyone. Welcome into another fun-filled adventure of facts, not feelings. And man, if you didn't tune in, I don't know why you didn't, and we're gonna have to have a little chat later. But if you did, oh my goodness, to my right, to your left, however you're sitting, I don't know how you're sitting today. We have my good friend, but also we have automotive news. And I'm Jarrod. I'm sorry, I'm going to embarrass you just a little bit here. We have automotive news's 40 for 40 nominee. We have AutoGenius founding member, who is formerly director of digital strategies for Germain. He's now the VP of strategy of success for Konect.ai. And maybe more importantly, he's my metaverse buddy and name tag stealer slash representative as well for Carpalooza, used Carpalooza. Jarrod Kilway, woohoo! Did I miss anything there?
Thank you so much, Brooke, for having me. Missed you out there at Carpalooza, but at least I got to represent a little bit of facts, not feelings, out there in Chicago last week. So we all missed you out there, but it was a great time.
Yeah, man, I really was planning to go, and then I saw that the dates lined up the same time that I was not even going to be in the state. I was like, for the love, and the love connection there. Ha. See, I pulled that all together there. Yeah. No, I was really excited. So how was that? Because I was not there, and I was living vicariously through you.
Yeah, no, it was an amazing show. There was a lot of knowledge shared by Jason Rice and Alex Vetter and Ed French and even Tommy Gibbs. But a lot of it was breaking the basics down and utilizing the basics to the current state of the industry and what we're dealing with from a used car perspective, with inventory shortages, recon costs continuing to increase. Talking about best end user strategy and how to acquire more vehicles when there are less vehicles on the market here today.
All very, very timely topics. And Colby, thank you for joining. Good to see you. It's one of those, like, I hopefully that I can be there next time, because it was just happened to be, like I said, the time that I wish I could split myself into two places and be two places at once, but could not be.
Well, you were just living through me.
That's true. That's true. It was, I actually did. That's true. It's we were cloning myself there a little bit. So it was very, very nice. So, all right. So we're just going to kind of jump in here a little bit. So with the title here, we kind of did a little play on words here. I know that you were with Konect.ai here a little, and phenomenal company. I know we just had Colby coming across the screen there a little bit there. And we were both really, really big on the consumer journey and making sure it's seamless. And offline, we were just talking about a little bit about how that can go awry sometimes, and a lot of times, whether it's intended or even forced on us because we don't have a choice of, well, this is the way you're doing it because we're going to mandate it that way. And so just talk a little bit about what you're doing to assist with that.
Yeah, with Konect and being on the market, talking to a lot of companies, looking at what the best fit for me was, really talking with Colby and Cole over at Foundation Auto. Really, Konect can really bridge the gap. We're talking about so many differences for inventory issues, for staffing issues, which is a critical element of it right now. We can fill that void with Konect.ai and really make your staff be more effective through putting the right person in front of them at the right time and being able to engage with the consumer when it is needed to be. For example, we look at KBB ICO leads. The average KBB ICO dealer, gets between 700 and 800 leads per month. And a lot of them are very time consuming, but also don't have the best engagement. Because a lot of them, piggybacking off of Brian Kramer's statement, with the sight unseen trade appraisal process, a lot of people use this at different dealerships around town to get an answer to the question for their customer because their manager wouldn't give them a number on the car. So they'll go plug it in KBB ICO and get a number and give it to the customer of, hey, this is what KBB says, or Carvana or CarMax, whatever. So there's a lot of junk inside of those lead volume. What we do is we handle those leads until either a contact has been responded back from the guest, or the customer needs a phone call scenario, or if we even schedule an appointment. Those are the ones that we tee up to the staff. So out of rough numbers, let's say 1,000 opportunities, we get 300 or 400 of them to that point. Let the AI continue on with that 600 or 700 that have not engaged. so that your team can be more effective, focusing on the best quality, and let us take care of the remainder of it.
Well, I think to go even one step further on that is that when those leads come in, I mean, how many times has it been preached to? What I always say is read the lead. And it's like, no, we just got to get through them, got to get through them. When you look and see when those leads come through, a lot of times is that it doesn't even, it comes in as a lead. Well, it's not really a lead, it's a trade-in offer. They wanted to know, but you're, oh, thank you so much for inquiring. But what they're not inquiring on shit. They want to know the trade offer. They want to know what they're, and so the first thing would be, oh, and how you respond to that is so key. But instead they're just like, oh, thanks for your, no, slow down and look at it. And when you all step in and say, let us take that off your plate and get back to what's really, really important to you, which is not all the junk that's coming in. So it's so vital. I was on your website the other day. And I believe it's the new website because it looked different than it was the other day. So it is the new website, correct?
Correct. We do have the new website up that launched, last week, and we're actually doing a lot with that for people to go and try out the actual system and functionality too. Run some tests, see what that experience looks like on your end. But the adoption has been great. We have some great partners, great integrations with the platform. And there's so many different versatile applications. We just talked about KVB as ICO as an example. That is one of 3, soon to be 5 or 6 different functionalities you can utilize the AI for. When I left Germain and I, was out on the market, I started doing my own research and my own information. The example I like to say is HR and recruiting. And out at NADA, out at Digital Dealer, everybody was talking about, I need more people. I need more BDC. I can't get salespeople. I can't get technicians. I can't get managers. So when I was on the market, I threw 100 applications out there to, Indeed and LinkedIn, and I didn't get a single phone call from anybody. Dealers, vendors, everything. Yep. And it's because we have focused as an industry on so much of the sales process and sequence with digital retail through COVID, with really getting better experience. And we get all these trainers to come in and train on sales process, sales experience. So we are well ahead of the curve on that one, which is great. But then you look at service. We're 5 years plus behind where we are from a sales side. On the service side, when we talk about digital mandates from OEMs, handcuffing us, we can't do this, we can't do that. And we're just kind of put into a hole, and we're trying to provide that customer who had an incredible sales experience, an incredible service experience, and we can't do it because we're handcuffed. But the real big thing, you think about this, is when's the last time anybody evaluated or audited your hiring and or onboarding process? It's the same process we used 30, 40, 50 years ago that they built when, they were still smoking cigarettes and drinking beer inside the dealerships. That
or
doesn't,
something else, yes.
Or something else. But that doesn't apply to the generation that we have applying right now. It's not relevant. We see somebody, hey, they're a salesperson, they apply for a sales manager role. We just take the resume and throw it in the trash can. Nobody ever calls them, does anything. Yeah, he's not going to be a desk manager here. He's not qualified. Well, have a conversation. So I'm working with Colby and team, and we're talking about that of, hey, we'll take over, we'll integrate with different companies to get these applications down to a phone call and or appointment interview. All you have to do is talk to them at that point. We'll do all the heavy lifting and get that application down to that next level, because there's also a lot of time spent in that component where they don't answer the phone or we send them an email, they never reply. So we're working on stuff that can be applicable for all different verticals inside the dealership.
And that's something I don't hear too often of, hey, when you're talking about AI and smarter marketing, smarter advertising, whatever it may be, is to take the HR approach. At least to my knowledge, that's something new, like you said, new vertical, to use your words there. That's really cool to hear about that. And I think that's something that's really, really key to take that avenue, because it is so important. Hey, we're shorthanded, we can't get this. And well, no problem. And I did play around with your the website the other day of just like, you put your name in there. Hey, this is the fifth Burke that we've seen, I've talked to today. And it does feel not quite so much like a bot, where it is taking that artificial intelligence and saying, hey, this is who it is, and putting there so it feels more like a human being. Because we've all had the funness of knowing that you're talking to a robot. You're talking to a robot, and it's like you get the same email. It's like, what are you stop? Like, just let me talk to a human being and stop having your AI that's a clearly a robot. Stop sending me stuff because it's not making any sense at all. And your website clearly knows that I'm a human. Like it's more of a, it's got that human touch to it, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, and that's the goal, is to make it human, and it's to make it conversational. It's really the goal is to be more of a conversational AI rather than this event happened. Okay, this is the message that goes, and it's no different than calling in and trying to get a hold of Facebook support and having to press 0 15 times. It says, "I'm sorry, you're disconnected," and it's like, what did I do for the past hour of my life now? It's frustrating not only to the consumer, but also to people who are trying to build and help stuff.
Yeah, and we had talked a little bit offline of just the difference of vendors and partners, and this seems more very, very much so like a partnership, and how you're going to partner with someone and work on that. Hey, you're looking to succeed. This is your goal. This is how we're going to get you there, and that is to champion that effort, because that is something that's so needed. And I don't care what it's an automotive or in the Ringling brother. It doesn't matter what avenue you are, is having that partnership. And it's just having technology is great. And I'll go back to, it's been said multiple times on here and other places, is that it's only as good as the humans that are there. Because as great as technology is, if you don't have people there to actually use your brain and think about it, and to say, hey, does this really need to be sent? Do I really need to do this? That technology is going to fail you. So you do have to have that human aspect, and you guys are really taking that to say, hey, we do need that human aspect. So yeah, that's very, very vital.
It's really tying in the people. The most critical component, I think, is the process, because people could be great. If you don't have the process for it, the people fails, the tech fails. So the process, in my sense, is the critical element, because then you can train the people to the process and make the technology that you're looking at work for your process and your people. When you have everything connected in that nature, it becomes more of a partnership rather than a vendor.
100%. 100%. As we are also discussing, is that whole process thing, because you can have, I'm going to bring up on this right here, 100%, Colby, 100% amen on that, because as we are discussing as well, is that there are certain OEM mandates, and we're not going to bring up any OEM's names here, is that you have a certain tool, certain service, is that you have that service at all your group locations. Let's say you have a group of 10, 15, doesn't matter what it is. And you have that, then you decide that you're going to open up OEM X. OEM X says, okay, you have that service. Well, actually, you can't have that anymore. You got to use our service that we're going to white label, but it's the exact same one. Oh, but you have to have a point first. You have to have a dealer code first. Oh, but that's going to take you 3 months because they're so backlogged. So you can't have it on your site, which means you suffer and the consumer suffers. Wait. So we have the right people, we have the right technology, but your process sucks. So what is the point of this? And I just, like, my mind was blown by this. It's happened recently. It happened with you. And I just couldn't get past this. Like, the breakdown is what? Process, because the technology's there, the people there, it's your process. And so it's the dealer and the consumer that are suffering.
No, 100%. I was on a Clubhouse call last night. I was talking to David Long about it here in a room. The OEMs face it. Vendors in this space face it. Dealers face it. We all face it in almost every industry, every vertical. But we have a sales process and we have an onboarding process. A lot of the time, the synergy between a sales process and onboarding, sales process to delivery, sales process to service introduction, it gets broken very quickly. I think of the Tommy Boy movie, making his first sale, when he's sitting at the desk and he's like lighting cars on fire and stuff. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I've lived that life before. Like, I know what's happening right now. But that is really where it comes down to, is that break-in process. Why is it if you do a buy sell and you go through this OEM, they know this is coming. Why is there such a backlog on onboarding that dealer, getting that dealer the information they need to go live day one of buy sell? The issue is a breakdown in their onboarding process and a breakdown in their buy sell process. It's not so much I think them trying to pick on them. It's just they don't have that fine-tuned or defined clearly enough to be simple and effective Instead, they're going with a process that they've probably used for 20 plus years, and it's what they're comfortable doing. And the fear of change is preventing them from being better and more successful for us dealers. But that happens to dealers when they onboard salespeople, when they onboard new technology. Happens to vendors as well. You look at a massive sales blitz after NADA, and you have all these people like, well, wait, who's first? Who's on third? Am I in Chicago or Cincinnati? You got 500 stores now you need to onboard on the new tech. And it's like, wait, did somebody even tell them it's going to take 2 to 4 months for that? What did we do in preparation before NADA to know we have to have a clean backlog of go live stores before NADA? It's all process and people. And a lot of the times not having that really prevents them from being successful.
Oh yeah, I mean, on that whole scenario there, I have spoken with other companies that say they that because of NADA, they're like, we'll actually do beforehand, we'll do better sales actually before NADA because of that. We don't want to see that happen. And good morning to you, JB. Nice to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining. Because it exactly for the exact same reasons, it says you've got to have that streamline because you do have exactly what you're talking about, and going on more to the onboarding, I think it was, I want to say it was Bob with Facebook, is that, just even trying to get your social in order and trying to get it from the other store. I mean, that is just, if you don't drink, that will drive you to drinking. And then you'll become an alcoholic. It's trying to get and say who owns what. I mean, it's just a nightmare. And I believe he's working on something to make it a little bit easier, but trying to get everything in order. It's just like, this should never be this hard. But we're going back to archaic.
Yeah, we're going back to the archaic component of them not having a process for buy sell. They're using something that's 10 years old where social accounts didn't come in. It's not even on a buy sell checklist now to get access to analytics or social accounts. That's just like a byproduct. And then, we're going to have that guy in the corner figure it out here after it's all done. And it's like, yeah, that didn't work out well. Now I'm calling Bob. Now I'm calling support. Now I'm calling everybody. And I'm just throwing my hands in the air at that point. So you nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a running checklist because I've done so many buy sells with different stores of like, okay, I need this, and I remember one person just goes, "This is a little OCD." I go, "You think? Because nobody has one. This is everything that's needed, and this is because nobody out there, everyone's just flying by the seat of their pants, have no idea what the hell they're doing, and this is what's needed, but nobody wants to put pen to paper to say these are the things that are needed." I remember coming into one buy sell and no one had asked about historical sold data being transferred. I go, "Do you understand how important this is?" And this is like a week before they're ready to close. And I just go, "No, this is really, really important. You need to have sold data being transferred over to your DMS." I was like, "Oh, we need this?" I was like, seriously. Yeah. But there's just like, you're just, well, we need this. But yeah, they're going back to archaic ways of doing things. And there's no standardization at all. It's just, we get it, we'll get it, and hopefully we get it. And some people will play nice, some people don't play nice, and yeah, it's fun times. But this is why coming together, and we all need to play nice together, but it doesn't always happen that way.
Well, not even just playing nice. It's everybody has to be open-minded right now. Be okay. Ask questions. If you don't know, there's plenty of people in this space and industry that can help. All you have to do is ask for it. And that's the biggest piece. A lot of the times we don't ask for help because we're just going to do what we've always done and everything will be fine. It's like, no, let's think about that. What does all this look like? We need to get people together and ask for help. That was the best thing that I always would do. Talking to Brian, talking to everybody. It's like, if I don't know something, I say, hey, I don't know. Rather than trying to BS through it and just get through it to be done with it, always ask for help or say, I don't know, and then collaborate together with people in the industry to find out what you don't know and to continue to learn.
And I think you hit on something really key there, is that I make a point to try to learn something every day. Some days you may not, but try to learn something new every single day. And if you're not, that's a problem, because there's always going to be someone smarter in the room. And if you are the smartest person in the room, go find a new room. because you should be striving to find something. If you feel like you're the smartest person, you continue to feel like you're the smartest person. Either you need to remove that ego, or like I said, go find another room. I mean, even yesterday, I mean, I got in a situation. I was like, man, I have never heard this. And I was like, okay, great. Now I'm going to get to the bottom of it. So when the situation arises again, I'm going to be able to help somebody. And it's just really, really key that you start learning and looking that way, because the minute you start stopping yourself and hindering yourself from learning, you've got some issues there. Yeah.
Yeah. Education is key.
Yeah.
Education is key. Humility is key. I mean, those are critical components to growth and success. And if you're not growing, you're not succeeding, and you're becoming stagnant at that point, even if you think you're the best person in the world or know everything in the world, you need to take a step back at that point and get a little dose of, what the true temperature is of everything around you. And maybe it's something that you may be the smartest at your store. That's fine. Go talk to other people in the space, find the people who are smarter than you, learn from them to continue to grow. Because if not, you become that stagnant component. And everybody knows what happens when you have stagnant water without movement. Starts to grow mold, and then it smells.
I like that.
Yeah. Nobody wants that.
Yes. I like that analogy. I'm going to be creatively borrowing that one from me. I like that one a lot. And it is. I mean, I remember the first time, and I was at DMSC. I remember the first time I was there. Like, I remember, I was learning a lot, and then I went to DMSC, and I was like, holy shit, there's some really, really smart people in this industry. And before that, I was like, okay, there's some smart people. And then I went there. I was like, oh my God, there is just brilliant people in this world. And I was like, I love this, because it's like all of a sudden your brain was just like, whoosh. And then the more you just got more, and that just from there, the tentacles just kept growing, because it's like, okay, got introduced to this person, got introduced to you. And it's just like, oh my gosh, your mind just keeps growing and growing and growing. And it's just it's just amazing, because then the more that you're able to grow, you're able to help more people and help more people. So highly, highly encourage that. Going back to your original statement of just don't be stagnant. Don't be stagnant.
Yeah. Network,
very, very key.
Network, meet people, ask questions.
Yeah. Okay. So with all this, with EVs, I mean, there's a whole untapped market. Well, I won't say untapped, but I guess it's untapped. But with technology, are you guys doing anything with that?
Oh goodness, I've been really focusing EV for about a year now, and a lot of the EV components around it. There's so many questions and there's so many details. Yeah. It really comes down to, working on stuff for EV for this, but really it's helping dealers understand what is their EV plan and strategy. That's the biggest piece. I can't help them and build a, component of the tool to help out with EV until these dealers start really thinking, what is my EV plan and strategy? How do you appraise a 4-year-old Tesla? You have two of them, the same year, same make, same model, same miles. Are they worth the same value? 90% of people will say, yes, I will fight that. I will say no, because you don't know the battery health and battery conditions of that battery. So if you aren't thinking and programming yourself that way to think about it, there's going to be tools on the market here very quickly in the near future to monitor the battery health. No different than you have with your iPhone. You can go in and go your battery health and look at that. You're going to have tools to help you as a used car manager, really look at that and see what is the health of the battery. So that's one component. What do you sell to an EV customer in finance? You sell tire wheel, you sell this, what is it that you're going to sell to them? What's your package for, F&I profitability? And how are you going to solve the guest questions for EV? You think of the biggest thing down here in Southwest Florida, biggest thing is range anxiety. So what are you doing to solve for that? Right now, if I bought an EV, what do I do? Range, I'm curious. I'm going to go look at all the maps. Why aren't dealerships thinking more forward about, hey, I'm going to reach out to ChargePoint. I'm going to work on being a wholesaler or a distributor of the level 2 and 3 chargers that get installed at people's homes. I'm thinking at this point, hey, I need to get with an F&I company to reinsure the chargers themselves, and I'm going to sell a warranty on the charger from a reinsurance plan. I'm also going to write a maintenance contract on the charging stations themselves. Oh, you know what? We got all these technicians that are doing lube techs that maybe not want to do that forever, but they want to continue to grow and evolve. I'm going to have conversation with them and say, hey, would you want to be a certified electrician? I'll pay for your school. I'll give you a vehicle to drive. Your responsibility is going to be installing charging stations in people's homes that are buying cars from us. Because right now, if you bought an EV and you're getting a charging station put in, it's Billy Bob's Electricians that's coming in to install a charging station. There's no connection between the consumer who just spent 30, 40, 50, 60 grand at the store, as well as the endpoint to fix that anxiety thing. It's now dealing with an electrician. Take the entire process in-house, add it on as an F&I product, sell it for 6 grand, and they'll probably buy it because they don't have to worry about it. It's done, it's handled, it's over with. And most importantly, it's efficient, and they have one person to call if there's any issues with anything. So just build the process. But when I look at EV, I don't hear any of this right now. I was talking to some people about it earlier. It's like, this is a plan that you can go in and do tomorrow inside your store, or one step of it. Do it tomorrow inside your store and get a plan together in a 30, 60, 90-day plan to execute this and get this live. But this is a great opportunity for revenue and profitability for dealerships. But most importantly, you're taking care of the customers.
Mic drop. Yeah, 100%. It's shocking to me that with all that's going on, that no one is talking about this. I don't know who I was talking to about this, but it was about the cells in the EVs, and I think it's been brought up a couple times, but it was last week even and it was, if there is one dead cell, do you understand what that means? And it was like, what? I was like, no, your car is dead. It's useless. Like, if you have a dead cell, you're dead. Like, that car, it doesn't matter if it's a 2021 or 2017, it's dead. And are you looking at that? So it's like, yeah, there's so many things that, once again, you're thinking outside the box of where is this going? And there's so many other things going on with EV, but at the basic level, where are you going? I mean, if you have a charge point, let's just start basic. Have you even claimed it in Google? Have you claimed your little charge point? I mean, have you done that? And if from there, are you capitalizing on that? Have you optimized it? And then from there, taking it a step further, like, hey, there's all these different things that, starting from ground zero and working up and thinking, okay, baby steps, foundation, and working up to exactly what you're talking about is, how are you praising them? Where are you going from there? What's your plan?
Yeah. A lot of stores are, just in conversations with people over the past couple of weeks, they're like, oh, well, we don't have any cars. We're talking about taking an acre off of our lot from the store. We're going to put charge stations. We're going to put a Dunkin' Donuts there. I'm like, hey, that's a really cool idea. But how many people are going to use those charging stations in 5 years? In 5 years' time from now, how many people do you think are actually going to come and use those charging stations? Because it's going to be no different than an Alexa device is today. Oh, I shouldn't have said it. Today, almost everybody has a smart home device in their home now. You look 5 years ago, very infrequent had it. That's what charging stations are going to be for EV now and EV in 5 years. So if you're going to take the investment to go put in 10, 20 charging stations at the store, I would be hesitant upon that and start rethinking, retooling for a 5-year plan, rather than right now immediate fix, because everybody's going to have a charging station at their home that has an EV. And then you look at a 10 and 20-year cycle at that point. It's going to be no different than having a microwave at your house. They're going to have plug-in stations everywhere. Yeah. So
it's a good thought.
When you look at it like that one, we always try and solve the problem for now and don't try and solve the problem for what's happening next.
I think it's also human nature, is that a lot of, the most of us, is that we're looking tunnel vision, right? What's this versus looking forward. I think that's just in general human nature to do that, versus the ones that are really going to capitalize on whatever it may be in businesses. Hey, what is happening 5 years from now? What's happening 10 years from now? And maybe people will scoff at that or make fun of them or whatever it may be, but those are the ones that are going to really win the day.
I get made fun of all the time. Everybody's like the metaverse. You've been in the metaverse with Kramer and I, and it's
Yeah.
you know, it's crazy. We have a blast in there, and there's so much to it. Everybody's like, that's just a big waste of time. I'm like, hey, that's your
Yep.
opinion. That's fine. That's great.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's not, because the manufacturers are starting to invest in that space and ecosystem. Now it comes down to what happens when all your unveilings are not on like a YouTube video anymore, and it's all done through there. And we're the only store that's in that ecosystem at that point in time. We're going to reap the rewards and benefits of it. And you're going to be sitting there asking, why aren't we doing this yet?
Yeah. Well, the Miniverse, isn't that coming up here soon? I thought I read something on that.
Yeah. There's a lot around the Miniverse going on. There's a lot of very interesting things that are kind of changing. With crypto taking a hit, it's definitely a great time to get in it, because the cost component of it is not going to be as high as where it was, a couple months ago. So it's low. This is a time to really start looking at investing into that ecosystem. But then it comes down to which one. So there's a lot behind it. If anybody has questions, reach out to me behind it. I've got some great demos and stuff. And Brooke, I still got to get you on a demo of the new piece I'm working on.
Yes, you do. I'm very excited about that, sir. Well, awesome, Jarrod. It has been so much fun. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Obviously, always a pleasure speaking with you, and obviously for repping my name tag as well. I always appreciate that as well. Thank you very much. So, all right, everyone that's on the show, though, we've got a few lightning round questions. So, ready for this? That's the first question.
All right, I'm ready now. Let's go.
All right. First and foremost, anyone for our listeners, where can they find you if they want to follow you, get in touch with you?
So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, as well as Clubhouse. I'm on Clubhouse usually every night between 7:30 and 9 o'clock with the Automotive Unwind show, and then Friday mornings as well on David Long's All Things Used Cars.
Friday morning, okay. All right, and then outside of work, what are your hobbies? What do you like doing?
Well, outside of work, being a girl's dad to 4 daughters, my life revolves around them. They're both competitive gymnasts. All 4 of them are, or 3 of the 4 are now on competitive team for USAG. So coming up on gymnastics season here starting in August, and we run through January, so it gets a little crazy.
Awesome. That's so cool. Your girls are adorable, by the way. All right, so things have changed since 2020 a little bit, and they continue to change as 2022 goes along. And so in your day-to-day or in personal life, doesn't matter, what are the biggest things that you have to distinguish facts from feelings?
Facts from feelings, both personal and professional.
And/or.
Okay, I would say it's really coming down to facts and feelings about how to mold and grow the next generation. We talked a little bit about the metaverse, a lot of feelings behind it. And people talk a lot about, kids spend too much time on devices and phones and this and that. And then I look at my 11-year-old who's on Roblox, building her own games, doing her own creativity. Like, the facts are she is programming herself to be more successful in the future, even though a lot of people feel that they should not have that much time on their device. They're playing with devices. They're doing this. They're doing that. A lot of people are utilizing this technology as this younger age to grow, build, and develop things that you and I haven't even thought about. So it comes down to really looking at what they're doing versus what they're not doing, and not making judgments because you think something, but you don't understand all the details of what they're trying to do and build. She's 11 years old and built a gymnastics game on Roblox.
Wow. I couldn't do that. So
no,
that's for sure.
I can't do that. But people look at that, it's like they'll make judgments and their feelings on she spent too much time on her device. Well, yeah, she spent time, but she's not watching videos or this and that. She's being productive. So don't judge.
She's building stuff. Yeah.
Look at the facts behind it.
Yeah. There's very wise words in that, and it can span across many, many different things on that. So I like that. Okay. As a disruptor in the industry, which you definitely are, what is the hardest or the best lesson that you've had to learn?
Humility and be humble. Take a back seat. There's a lot of people that know a lot more than you do. Brian Kramer has always been kind of a mentor to me. And I've really was able to mentor him on things. Brian Kramer didn't have a social media account 3 years ago. And Brian and I were together. I'm like, Brian, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. And it's like, boom, watching him just take off 3 years ago and explode on the scene. I'm so happy for him and his success that he's had. And I get to just sit there and say, hey, I was with him. We worked together. Like, he's my buddy. But the information I've learned from him has really helped me grow better. And I know I've helped him through the teachings of different pieces of digital and whatnot. So we've learned together. And that's one of the biggest things that, I take away from that, but really looking at those relationships and being humble.
Very, very, very true. Okay. So what's your favorite car?
Oh, this is an easy one.
Okay.
No. So my dream car is a 1998 Porsche 911 993 Targa.
Go big. I like it.
It's the last year of the air-cooled Porsches, the original Porsche, and I've always don't want a convertible, but I want the Targa.
That's a good one, sir. I like. Okay. Do you have? Oh, actually, no. Let's go. Advice you give your younger self.
Patience. Be
good one.
Patient. Don't try and rush yourself. Take every moment you have and use it as a learning opportunity. Just be patient and everything will come to you. Don't rush it.
That's a good one. Okay. We'll end with, do you have a favorite quote?
I do. It's actually tattooed on my back. It's
nice.
From Father Ralph. It's a Ralph Waldo Emerson quote, but it says, the world makes way for the man who knows where he's going.
I like that. I like that. Awesome. Well, Jarrod, once again, thank you so much. This has been a blast. Not that I would have thought of anything else. I knew it was going to be. I mean, come on, seriously.
I gotta ask one question, Brooke.
Yes.
What's on the feet today?
Right now, nothing. I'm in bare feet with Uggs, but yesterday
on for me, huh?
No, but I will say that yesterday there was a little bit of a mishap with Nike. And I didn't think I got the J's, and I ended up getting 4 pairs of J's yesterday. Hopefully, Chris is not watching the show.
Well, I can't wait. Yeah. I'm sure I'll see him. Put him up on Instagram later. I love it. I love seeing the shoe collection and the passion behind it.
Yeah, it was. I was like, oh, I'm not going to get them, and it was like taking forever, and all this was like, bing, bing, bing. I was like, oh my gosh. And I'd gotten one the day prior. So I have 5 pairs of J's rolling in next week. So with the lights. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I need to step away from Nike and Foot Locker for a while, because I got to pay the mortgage still. So yeah, with the light coming on, you're in t-shirts and stuff. So it's like, it gets a little toasty when we're doing these. So right now, nothing. It's bare feet right now, but yes. Good question.
You should add that here moving forward, the shoe of the day.
I actually thought about that. There's probably a year ago, there was a guy that developed, during the pandemic, he developed a shoe cam. So on Zoom, he would have another camera that shot down at his shoes, so people could see what shoe he's wearing. I was like, that is freaking awesome. I want that.
Reality.
Yes. Good times. But yes, I'll definitely post when I get the shoes. We've got a whole bunch coming in, and I'm going to have to somehow hide the packages so Chris can't see that I just spent a buttload of money on shoes. So sorry. It's okay. That's why we have the job. So it's all good.
There could be worse things. So no worries.
Yeah, right. There could be worse addictions. So, it's for a good cause. It's all right. Awesome. Thank you, JB, by the way. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. As always, have an awesome weekend. And as always as well, find a way to serve today, find a way to go help someone in need. Kind smile. It's amazing how far that will go to help someone. But as always, have a great weekend, everyone, and we'll see everyone next week. And yeah, everyone, have a good one. All right, Jarrod, thank you as always. See you, everyone.
See you.